the best 25 caliber automatic pistol. Actually, it's the best, model A27. Is it the best at anything? We're going to find out. Stick around. I want to welcome you to Riders Range, where we're going to take a quick look at the best 25 caliber. This is imported by Firearms Import and Export out of Miami, Florida. This was actually imported as the Model A27 up through 1988. Originally started out as the Astra Cub back in Spain back in the middle 1950s, and Colt even imported this from the late 50s to the late 60s as the Colt Junior. But right now it is the FIE, the best, and we're going to look at whether or not it's the best at anything. And it certainly is not the best at trigger pull. The trigger pull on this thing is about 8.5 pounds. But actually the trigger is a smooth trigger, a smooth face trigger, which I kind of like. But certainly not one of the best triggers around. Let's see, wood grips, slide serrations. It's a hammer-fired gun. And has a little bit of a beaver tail, which is nice. I compared this with another 25 that I've got that I did a video on a while back, and I don't get slide bite from this. I did from the other one, but we'll talk more about that here in a minute. So it does have kind of a safety decocker, and it's also got I believe it has a magazine disconnect in this too. Yeah, so when there's a magazine out and it's on fire, you aren't going to fire it. When it's on safe, it also kind of blocks the slide up there. Again, I mentioned in the video, the sights are terrible on this. Let's see if I can get some sort of a contrast here. You can see just a little post front and a notch rear. There's just not much to these sights. And when I tried to line it up on the white 16-inch target at 50 yards, it just didn't work. So I gave up on that. But then again, this is not a 50-yard gun. It's strictly a MEDU. In fact, the likelihood of ever having to use the sights on this is pretty slim. All right, so this gun is on loan to me by my good friend Brent Fisher. It comes from the family collection of firearms. He's loaned me a number of guns that have belonged to close relatives, and this is, like I say, an interesting little pistol. Is it the best size-wise? Now, the natural comparison might be to compare it with the Ruger LCP2. This is a 22 caliber, and you can see there's a huge difference. The Ruger is much larger than the best, and of course the LCP2 in 380 is the same size as the 22. So even though they're hammer-fired guns, they're huge difference between them. Otherwise, the smallest 380 I have would be the Beretta Pico, but even that, you can see there is a huge difference between the Pico and the best. The only thing I have that is actually smaller is my other 25. That is a Bauer 25. And actually I have two of these. I did a review. I don't know, post a link to that up there. Interesting little gun, also in 25 caliber. Still not something that you're going to speed load, but it is smaller than the best. It is just about the same length overall, but it is not anywhere near as tall. Now, of course, the Bauer is a striker-fired gun, whereas the best is a hammer-fired gun. And that's really about all the similarities. And the Bauer does give me slide bite if I don't hold it right, whereas the best will not. All right, we did shoot this at 12.25, and yes, before you send the hate mail, I shot it at 50 yards just to see if I could. It's not a 50-yard gun. It's not a 25-yard. This is even a 12-yard gun, but I wanted to see if it'll work. So we did shoot it a little bit, and I'll roll that footage in, and we'll take a look at how it shoots.
There we go. It's kind of reluctant. Silhouette should be able to hit it. All right, what about the white 8-inch there? I would, except it didn't go into battery. White 8-inch on the left. All right, got it. 4 shots left. Can I get any plates? Got 3 out of 4.
The best A27 25 caliber. I don't know if this thing will do anything at 25 yards or not. Terrible sights. Let's just see if I can hit that black 12-inch on the left. Hey, it moved it. All right. 8-inch next to it. Any chance of that one?
Not much. Let's just put the other 4 into that silver silhouette. Should be able to hit that. Sounds like I missed it on the last shot. Not meant for a 25-yard gun. All right, this little Best A27 25 caliber is strictly a me-to-you gun, not a 50-yard gun, but I gotta try 50 yards. The gong, silver gong on the left, green center. Can it hit it? I don't think it's hitting it. I'm not hearing it anyway. I should at least hear it. I'm not going to see it move, but I should hear it. There we go. Had to aim pretty high up on it. 2 shots left. I'm going to stick with the gong. I'm not even going to go for the 16-inch. Yeah, I am. No, I'm not. I can't see the sights on it. Stick to the gong. 1 left. Missed on the last shot.
All right, thanks for sticking with us so far while we look at the best 25 auto. And again, controversy between the 25 and the 22. The 25 caliber normally has about a 50 grain bullet. You can get them in 45 occasionally. 45 grain projectile. It's a center fire cartridge as opposed to the 22 long rifle, which is a rim fire cartridge, and you can get projectiles anywhere from 30 grains roughly up to about 50 grains in the 22, with 36 or so being kind of the standard on that. Big difference, of course, is center fire versus rim fire, and the center fire being more reliable than rim fire. However, the 22 gives you a little more muzzle energy when you're using the right projectiles. The Federal punch ammunition is designed for short barreled guns, and the 22 will give you a little better muzzle energy than the 25 will. Theoretically, it might be a better defensive cartridge, but again, this is strictly a hide in your shorts type absolute deep cover backup gun, and if it comes to having to use this, you're probably in over your head anyway. And you can pick these up normally for if you can still find them, and they're still occasionally show up on some of the auction sites. They're going to be around $100 $150 gun. The condition that this is with the box, it's probably going to be at the high end of that, so it is still in pretty good condition. Grip panels are still solid, not cracked or anything. Bluing is still probably 95%, and maybe 90. But again, it's in good shape, so it's going to be probably the high end of that. All right, that's a quick look, maybe not so quick, at the best 25 caliber. That may be the best 25 you're going to find, but it's not certainly going to be the best at any kind of defensive use. So there it is. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for stopping by Riders Range.